Ladies and gentlemen, in life only two things are certain. Me using the funny sound effect, and Todd Howard endlessly releasing various versions of Skyrim. I genuinely believed his reign of terror would stop after he sold it for 7.5 billion to Microsoft. But here we are again with Markarth, the final DLC in the year-long Dark Heart of Skyrim storyline. A conclusion that I like a lot because I'm a massive nerd when it comes to Elder Scrolls and anything to do with the Dwemer. At first, everything is all too similar to Greymoor. We meet an old friend, they let us know that the local ruler won't speak to us unless we bring valuable information, and we set out to do some legwork. I want to call this lazy writing because it's the exact same template as the one that we saw in Greymoor, but I'm in a good mood, so we'll look at this as a good way of introducing the player to the local fauna and flora.
I took an arrow in the leg.
He did the same joke about 3 times already. I don't think it's funny anymore.
The thing that stands out the most with this DLC is the voice acting. ESO has always nailed this part, but with this DLC it's much more apparent. The entire region belongs to the Reachmen, and instead of having said Reachmen sound like retarded Nords, they have an Irish, Scottish, Welsh, or whatever this is twist to their lingo that pushes the whole theme of this being the Reach, not Skyrim. In some way it reminds me of Borderlands the pre-sequel, a game where virtually everyone on the moon had an accent, specifically an Australian one.
I'm gonna die!
Only difference being that here in Markarth, the accent feels natural, either because the voice acting is just that good,
or I'll have your notes for a trophy,
or because ZeniMax did a great job of pushing the whole theme of the Reach with the story, environments, and NPCs. Markarth and its surroundings will often remind you of Skyrim, but not in the sense of, hey, I've been here in that one game, because the locations here have a lot of personal touch that makes them feel like they're truly from a different timeline, which often results in the locations evoking the feeling of... When you think of Skyrim, the most iconic locations pop into mind, such as Whiterun, Markarth, Blackreach, etc. And obviously areas like that are going to be instantly recognizable. What I liked about this DLC though, is it brought in unique locations such as Skyhaven Temple. You don't really go inside or interact with it in any way, but just seeing it brings back the feeling of... Now the main story picks up where Greymoor left off. After their defeat in Western Skyrim, the army of furries and bloodsuckers known as the Grey Host have set their eyes upon the Reach, because this is where a powerful relic is hidden. To get to it, the leader Rada al-Saran has made an alliance with Lady Belaine, the sus advisor of Ard Kadek, aka the King of Markarth, who is voiced by the legendary Wes Johnson. If that name doesn't ring any bells, first of all, perish. Second of all, how? He is the voice behind many iconic characters such as Lucien Lachance, Sheogorath, Hermaeus Mora, every Oblivion Guard, Mr. Burke, and so on. Point being, Ard Kadek is sexy.
Thanks.
Back to the video. The reason for this alliance stems from her being the leader of an ancient and forgotten vampire clan known as the Night Hollows, who have their own reason of pursuit for this relic. Obviously, this means there's a traitor trope involved in the story. But unlike Greymoor's traitor trope, this one is acknowledged by all the NPCs once revealed, rather than just assuming you're dumb enough to fall for it. From here, the story gives way to numerous narrative branches regarding the inner conflict of Reach clans, century if not millennia old friendships, ambitions to create a new plane of oblivion, a powerful yet damned vampire clan, and of course, Obama.
fellow Americans.
All of which is nicely tied in together at the end for a finale that also ties in the rest of Skyrim and concludes the year-long Dark Heart of Skyrim journey. Far as story and presentation go, Markarth is...
Заебись. Чётко.
When it comes to side quests though, Greymoor is better, which is to be expected being that one is a chapter and the other is a DLC. That's not to say the side quests here in Markarth are bad, because they're not, but nothing about them really stands out. They all provide some new or different perspectives on the Reach and its cultures, as they should. It's just there isn't that one quest that goes sicko mode. In Greymoor there is that entire quest that gives room for new theories in regards to the disappearance of the Dwemer, while also introducing a new and interesting character that can make sense of it all at some point in the franchise. Here in Markarth, I thought I stumbled across something similar in nature when I saw a Psijic Order member just vibing outside a delve, but the quest ended up being a simple break this, break that, without any fat implications or revelations to top it off. The biggest draw to this DLC is the new solo arena Vatashran Hollows. Gameplay-wise, ESO is at its finest when there's something difficult to overcome, be it a mechanically focused fight, or finding an ESO girlfriend in zone chat. And there's plenty of that in ESO in the form of 12-man trials and 4-man dungeons, but there's a problem with them. That problem is of course reliance. You have to rely on your teammates to pull their weight in any given encounter, otherwise you get nene too. This is especially noticeable in no-def runs or wipe mechanics. Luckily, that problem doesn't exist in Vatashran Hollows or VH. You don't need coordinate time with others to tackle this arena, and you can pursue the rewards it offers whenever and however you wish. You want the sick Obama skin for your war criminal role-playing experience? Go ahead and complete VH on veteran difficulty. Rewards aside, VH is pretty fun to go through. It's split into 4 arenas with each one presenting different enemies, bosses, mechanics, and colors. It's a good place to test your own capabilities and practice for group-based endgame content. A major step up over the only other solo arena in terms of design. But when it comes to the unique weapons dropped, VH is not that enticing. Last thing worthy of mention is of course the new additions to the antiquity system that was introduced in Greymore. With Markarth you can hunt for various new pieces of furniture, motifs, and mythic items, which is cool if you care about that. But what really matters is the new mythic Ring of the Pale Order, a powerful piece of gear that boosts your survivability. All in all, Markarth is probably the best small-scale DLC in the game thus far. Story is great, content offering is plentiful, thematic presence is present, and the OST bangs. Truthfully, the OST here on Markarth is probably my favorite by far in ESO, all DLCs included, which is not a small feat considering the amount of compositions there are. There's just something so soothing and unique about Markarth's OST. I don't know, it hits different. Hell, this entire Dark Heart of Skyrim year-long journey is a great, concise, and interesting experience. One that I would definitely recommend going through if you have even the slightest interest in trying ESO. As for Markarth's rating, I'ma give it a Poggy Woggy 9 out of 10. That's about it. I originally made these ESO vids because of the great face value meme potential, such as Skyrim 2, Toddy Boy, and whatever else followed. However, playing through these DLCs showed me that there's even more meme potential. So chances are there will be more ESO videos, especially considering that the next year-long journey, known as Gates of Oblivion, is literally just Oblivion 2. The wrath of the Todd can truly never be stopped.
Anyways.
Slap like, slap wife, hit subrub, and I shall obtain you next time. Peace!
We owe these miracles to the efforts of all kinds. Reachman, Nord, Vampire, Outlander. Heroes of every stripe. Let us follow their example.
16 times the detail.
Elmo came with an AK-47.